Hey guys, it's me. So I'm assuming that you read the section on Mercury. Mercury is a really interesting planet. Like I've said before, it's the very first part that I studied in astrology, specifically the retrogrades. I don't go too much into retrogrades in this section, but that's just, we're right at the very beginning of redoing this website, and it's particularly the astrology section. So eventually I might have a little bit more in this section, especially because Mercury is really, really important. I think it's probably one of the most important planets that we deal with. It is all about communication. And I do know that one of the biggest issues I always tell people that we have, especially at work, is we don't know how to communicate properly. So really, our communication skills need a lot of work. So to me, this is the most important planet that we are dealing with in my lifetime. I know I had to learn how to communicate the things that I know, and it's taken me a long time. The reason I'm even doing these videos is so that I learn how to communicate the knowledge that I have inside of me to others so that they understand. That makes a big difference, to make sure that when I'm communicating that people are understanding what it is that I'm talking about. I really struggled a lot of times by stumbling over my words and not being able to express the things that I was feeling at the time. So if you've watched any of the videos, you can watch me as I'm speaking, because even now I'm thinking about things that I want to say, and the way it's coming out, I'm hesitating. So that's part of my communication where it's not smooth. It's because I'm right in the middle of learning how to communicate to people through a computer, through the video. It's a different form of communication than I'm used to. And it takes practice to be able to communicate the things that I know to people that I want to share it with. So that's what communication is about, or what Mercury is about. Now, don't normally like to express the negative side of things. There's always negative traits. We're always trying to get to be a little bit better in ourselves. If you're not, then I'm not quite sure why. Well, I don't even want to get into that. So the thing is one of the things I wanted to communicate, because I'm not into politics, but I was alive during the past year, and I saw a lot of miscommunication amongst a lot of people. I listened to both sides. It was the most frustrating time I've ever experienced when it came to people's opinions and how they were communicating it. I saw a lot of people believing in things. Everybody's got their own beliefs and stuff, but when we can't get along and there's fighting, that's when I kind of draw the line. So the thing is, and like I tell everyone, when I go to work, it does not make a difference whether I believe in someone's belief or not. I still have to take care of them. So all of that stuff goes out the door, and I have to treat everyone with love and respect. And so that's where I come from. That's why the slogan for this website is "Love is free, share it," because no matter what someone believes, I have to share my love with every single person, whether their beliefs are in line with mine or not. So that's my first big thing. The other thing is that for me to be able to take care of people, I have to be able to communicate things, and I need to learn how to listen a little more as well, so that I'm hearing the things that they're communicating to me. But communication definitely is a big key, and if we don't learn how to communicate and listen to people, then we're not going to be able to utilize this planet as well as we can. So I do know that people have learned how to manipulate a planet's power. And what I mean is that Mercury is the planet of communication. And when someone has utilized its power in communication, they've also learned the ways of manipulating others through that power. So the thing is I can't change anyone, but what I can do is try to help those that may be at risk of getting hurt or abused by others through the power of communication. And the one way of doing that is learning yourself well enough to know what is truth for you. And you do that through the knowledge and understanding of Mercury's power. Mercury is constantly knocking us down and looking at the areas of where we need work on. I call them triggers. This usually happens during retrograde periods. Excuse me, my nose is itchy. Retrograde periods I go into detail about in the retrograde section, so I'm not going to discuss that here. But Mercury retrogrades are probably one of the well-known parts of astrology. People that don't believe in astrology know about Mercury retrograde. So we're starting to come to a point where astrology is starting to really become the norm within our society, and I think we're headed in that direction. So that's why this website's going to start to be a bigger deal maybe later on, because we're going to start to recognize that these planets are really do have influence on us. And the retrograde portion, please take a look at it, because I'm probably going to be putting up a video specifically on Mercury retrograde. It is probably one of the most important retrograde periods, and I think in this section, it does say the quickness of Mercury. Mercury is very quick. It's like a quick mind. It's quickly doing things. So I think that's the other reason why the retrograde periods are so difficult, because things just constantly are not working, and people tend to talk about the electronics. I know, like I said, I've had issues with my electronics since I started updating the website. I've had issues communicating through this video, but for me that works because it's telling me the areas in myself that are not working correctly and the areas that I need to focus on. And that's what I'm talking about, understanding ourselves. When Mercury knocks us down or causes turmoil in our life, it is for us to look at the areas in ourselves and how we're handling it and how we're communicating the things that we are going through. So that's the main focus of Mercury, is to be the messenger of what it is that we have gained in knowledge within ourselves. So just try to understand that that's what Mercury really is all about. I know I've gone to multiple websites. All of them pretty much say about the same thing. I've picked two different people to use. I picked astrology.com, which was a news site that I just found the other day. And I picked the best astrology book you'll ever have or get. That book is very good. I wish these two were the two that I began with when I started my journey. So if I have any recommendations, I would recommend these two items first. I'll show you the book right now. This is what the book looks like. Okay, it's the only astrology book you'll ever need by Joanne Wolfuk and astrology.com. They're both very easy reads. They both make a lot of sense. They're set up very simple. I was amazed to see astrology.com for the first time, and to see how similar my website was to theirs. So they are similar to my website. They are geared all towards tarot cards, astrology, and psychic readings. My site is geared towards self-help, metaphysical type healing and knowledge. So they're very similar. My astrology section is very similar to their astrology section. They have a little more information in regards to a little bit more detail maybe, but I go into more explanations of what it is about what we're going to be going through personally. So I'm more about the coaching aspect of astrology. I don't do natal charts. I do people's charts when I'm asked to do them, usually by friends. But my site is not designed to set up to do natal charts. I do have a button to go to use a free natal chart program that I use when I do friends' natal charts. I like it. It's free. You can set up an account and use it that way, or you can just go in and do it manually and not have to set up any account. So I really like it. I do have an astrology program on my computer that I've purchased, and I still use the free one more. I think the free one at astrotheme.com is excellent. It has been pretty accurate as far as I'm concerned. I do believe it's more accurate than the program that I bought. It's just a simple program. So and they have a lot that's there, and they have a lot of great information. So that's another place to go to if you want to know a little bit more, and they're very good. The astrology.com, they do a ton of different charts. They also offer a free natal chart. I was trying to do a natal chart through the phone app, but was unable to get the time in correctly. So I think I'm going to try getting one of their charts to see how good they are. But they do a lot of different charts as well. I asked you guys in this section to get to know where your Mercury is in your natal chart. The placement of the Mercury in your chart is going to make a significant difference in how you see this, because the sections, which are houses, is a particular area in your life. So wherever that Mercury is located, that's where Mercury is going to be highlighted in your life. That's where you're going to develop your communication skills. And so that's a big thing to know. And then the sign that the Mercury is located in, that's also going to be important, because that's going to take on the characteristic traits of that sign. But because we're beginners, I want you to just understand what Mercury represents and the traits and characteristics of it. Understand that everything in life has a positive or negative, a light or a dark. But even that isn't questionable, because sometimes our darkness is not as dark as what people believe it to be. Sometimes it's just the way people are perceiving things. All I know is that we should be playing fair with each other, and we shouldn't be trying to hurt anyone else. So, everyone's their own individual. Everyone has a right to be who they want to be, and it's up to you to decide who you want to be and who you want to include in your life. And as far as I'm concerned, that's everyone's own individual right and will to do in life. So I'm not here to tell anybody how to do it. I'm just letting you know that there are people out there that will try to do certain things or manipulate things to get their way. As long as you understand yourself well enough, you will know your truth, and those things will not happen, or at least less likely to happen. So just understand that I'm always trying to make sure that everyone's in a better place in themselves so that things like that don't happen to them. So just be aware that communication, that's the main focus of Mercury. It has everything to do with our mind and how we interpret things and how we process everything. And, communication isn't just about our mind, but it's also about the communication that our body gives us to let us know when we may be suffering, or we may be in pain, or when we feel like we're in love. So our body talks to our mind as well, and so our body's communication is just as important. And that, I don't remember if it was the website or the book that mentioned the physical part of it, and I think it was the website, which is really, that's probably one of the first times I heard about that. And I'll be honest, I agree that it's the physical communication sometimes, because I know for a fact that I sometimes can't speak to individuals because they speak a foreign language, and I'm able to still communicate certain things to them without having to verbally communicate. So we are able to do communication through our own body. And we study this in the medical field, because I know especially in the emergency room, we have to be very aware of our body and how we're portraying ourselves to individuals, because sometimes the way we stand could be a sign of physical threatening of individuals. So just our body's posture and our physical presence is a communication to another on what it is and how we're feeling at that time. So be very aware that this isn't just the mind thing, it is a body thing as well. The mind and the body are connected, so it's all one, but we can tell the difference between our mind and our body. I know sometimes my body is giving off something that my mind doesn't even know what's going on. So, sometimes I know a little bit more about myself because of my body's letting me know. I know for a fact I am stressing when my stomach's upset. I'm not overthinking, but my stomach might be. So that's a form of communication. My body's letting me know that there is something going on. You need to look at it. So my mind kind of wakes up and says, all right, what's bugging us? And that's the form of communication. That's Mercury letting us know that there's something within us that we have to take care of. So I'm going to make this short and sweet. I thank you guys for checking out the site, especially this section. Mercury is really important. And I hope everything is going well in your life. And I love you guys. And I'll check you out later.